Benny bakes a cake. For Benny's birthday, Ralph gives Benny a big wet kiss. So Benny helps to bake the cake. Benny sifts and Benny stirs. And Benny makes sure Ralph is good. Then the cake goes in the oven till finally it's done. Mama sets it out to cool. Now we have to ice the cake. So Benny helps to make the icing. Benny pours and Benny scrapes. And Benny watches Ralph while Mama spreads the icing on the cake and writes, "Happy birthday, Benny," very big. There, all finished. Mama smiles, and Benny smiles. Ralph licks his lips. Then Mama says, "We still have time to take a walk." So Mama slips her apron off, and Benny gets out his shoes. But where is Ralph? There is Ralph, and there is Benny's cake. "Bad Ralph, bad dog," Mama scolds. But Benny doesn't say a thing, he just cries. The telephone goes, ring, ring. "Hello, Papa," Mama says. An awful thing has happened. Ralph has eaten Benny's cake. "Why, yes, of course." And she says, "Goodbye." Just like the bug. "Don't cry, it will be all right, you'll see." Mama hugs Benny tight, and Ralph is very sorry too. But Benny cries and will not stop. Then suddenly at the door, knock, knock, and Papa calls, we're here, someone open up." Benny stops, wipes his eyes, and opens up the door. Surprise! And then for Benny's birthday, everybody sings, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Benny, happy birthday to you." And it is a happy birthday too. Okay, let's do this one. Dirty Kurt. The thing that you noticed the most about Kurt was that day into night he was covered with dirt. No one could say why it happened that way, but when dirt got near Kurt, it just wanted to stay. Soup shot from his spoon when he dressed in his best, to slide down his tie stripes and rest on his vest. The gooey black grease from the chain and the locks leaped from his bicycle onto his socks. When soda sprayed out with a fizz and a squirt, it misted and drizzled all over Kurt's shirt. Ice cream drip dropped as it flopped from the cone onto Kurt when the cone wasn't even his own. Stains jumped from the grass, puddles splashed on his shoe, ketchup glugged from the bottle. Well, what could he do? His mother said, "Kurt, you are Kurt, aren't you, dear? You must find a way to stay cleaner, I fear. Remember, you start a new school in the fall, and no one will know what you look like at all. Not having seen how you seem when you're neat, they're just going to think you're a dirt ball with feet." Well, that was a problem. There must be a way. So Kurt started thinking and thought all that day. Looks like they used watercolors to do that picture.
He could just like jump in the water and take a bath.
I could. We can do that. The next day, no ketchup, no ice cream, no dirt, no grease, and no splashes on socks, pants, or shirt. No fizz made it through, and no glug, and no splat. Kurt was wonderfully clean, and he stayed just like that. Okay. Brave Irene. Mrs. Bobbin, the dressmaker, was tired and had a bad headache, but she still managed to sew the last stitches in the gown she was making. "It's the most beautiful dress in the whole world," said her daughter Irene. "The Duchess will love it." "It is nice," her mother admitted, "but, Dumpling, it's for tonight's ball, and I don't have the strength to bring it. I feel sick." "Poor Mama," said Irene. "I can get it there." "No, Cupcake, I can't let you," said Mrs. Bobbin. "Such a huge package, and it's such a long way to the palace. Besides, it's starting to snow." "But I love snow," Irene insisted. She coaxed her mother into bed, covered her with 2 quilts, and added a blanket for her feet. Then she fixed her some tea with lemon and honey, and put more wood on the stove. With great care, Irene took the splendid gown down from the dummy and packed it in a big box with plenty of tissue paper. "Dress warmly," her mother called in a weak voice. "Don't forget to button up. It's cold out there and windy." Irene put on her fleece-lined boots, her red hat and muffler, her heavy coat, and her mittens. She kissed her mother's hot forehead 6 times, then, once again, made sure she was tucked in snugly, and slipped out with the big box, shutting the door firmly behind her. Somebody was naughty. It really was cold outside, very cold. The wind whirled the falling snowflakes about this way, that way, and into Irene's squinting face. She set out on the uphill path to Farmer Bennett's sheep pasture. By the time she got there, the snow was up to her ankles, and the wind was worse. It hurried her along and made her stumble. Irene resented this. The box was problem enough. "Easy does it," she cautioned the wind, leaning back hard against it. By the middle of the pasture, the flakes were falling thicker. Now the wind drove Irene along so rudely she had to hop, skip, and go helter-skeltering over the knobby ground. Cold snow sifted into her boots and chilled her feet. She pushed out her lip and hurried on. This was an important errand. When she reached Apple Road, the wind decided to put on a show. It ripped branches from trees and flung them about, swept up and scattered the fallen snow, got in front of Irene to keep her from moving ahead. Irene turned around and pressed on backwards. "Go home," the wind squalled. "Irene, go home." "I will do no such thing," she snapped. "No such thing, you wicked wind." "Go home," the wind yodeled. "Go home," it shrieked, "or else." For a short second, Irene wondered if she shouldn't heed the wind's warning. But no, the gown had to get to the Duchess. The wind wrestled her for the package, walloped it, twisted it, shook it, snatched at it, but Irene wouldn't yield. "It's my mother's work," she screamed. Then, oh woe, the box was wrenched from her mittened grasp and sent bumbling along in the snow. Irene went after it. She pounced and took hold, but the ill-tempered wind ripped the box open. The ball gown flounced out and went waltzing through the powdered air with tissue paper attendants. Irene clung to the empty box and watched the beautiful gown disappear. How could anything so terribly wrong be allowed to happen? Tears froze on her lashes. Her dear mother's hard work, all those days of measuring, cutting, pinning, stitching, for this? And the poor Duchess? Irene decided she would have to trudge on with just the box and explain everything in person. She went shuffling through the snow. Would her mother understand, she wondered, that it was the wind's fault, not hers? Would the Duchess be angry? The wind was howling like a wild animal. Suddenly, Irene stepped in a hole and fell over with a twisted ankle. She blamed it on the wind. "Keep quiet," she scolded. You've done enough damage already. You've spoiled everything. Everything. The wind swallowed up her words. She sat in the snow in great pain, afraid she wouldn't be able to go on. But she managed to get to her feet and start moving. It hurt. Home, where she longed to be, where she and her mother could be warm together, was far behind. It's got to be closer to the palace, she thought. But where any place was in all this snow, she couldn't be sure. She plowed on, dragging furrows with her sore foot. The short winter day was almost done. Am I still going the right way, she wondered. There was no one around to advise her. Whoever else there was in this snow-covered world was far, far away and safe indoors. Even the animals in their burrows. She went plodding on. Soon, night took over. She knew in the dark that the muffled snow was still falling. She could feel it. She was cold and alone in the middle of nowhere. Irene was lost. She had to keep moving. She was hoping she'd come to a house. Any house at all to be taken in. She badly needed to be in someone's arms. The snow was above her knees now. She shoved her way through it, clutching the empty box. She was asking how long a small person could keep this struggle up when she realized it was getting lighter. There was a soft glow coming from somewhere below her. She waded toward this glow and soon was gazing down a long slope at a brightly lit mansion. It had to be the palace. Irene pushed forward with all her strength and sloosh, thwomp, she plunged downward and was buried. She had fallen off a little cliff. Only her hat and the box in her hands stuck out above the snow. Even if she could call for help, no one would hear her. Her body shook. Her teeth chattered. Why not freeze to death, she thought, and let all these troubles end? Why not? She was already buried. And never see her mother's face again? Her good mother, who smelled like fresh baked bread? In an explosion of fury, she flung her body about to free herself and was finally able to climb up on her knees and look around. How to get down to that glittering palace? As soon as she raised the question, she had the answer. She laid the box down and climbed aboard, but it pressed into the snow and stuck. She tried again, and this time, instead of climbing on, she leaped. The box shot forward like a sled. That's the kind you want to get for Grandma Kathy's. No, a real sled. Okay. The wind raced after Irene, but couldn't keep up. In a moment, she would be with people again, inside where it was warm. The sled slowed and jerked to a stop on paving stones. The time had come to break the bad news to the Duchess. With the empty box clasped to her chest, Irene strode nervously toward the palace. Then her feet stopped moving, and her mouth fell open. She stared. Maybe this was impossible, yet there it was, a little way off and over to the right, hugging the trunk of a tree. It was the beautiful ball gown. The wind was holding it there. "Mama!" Irene shouted. "Mama, I found it!" She managed, somehow, despite the wind's meddling, to get the gown off the tree and back in its box. She knocked twice with the big brass knocker. The door opened and she burst in. She was welcomed by cheering servants and a delirious Duchess. They couldn't believe she had come over the mountain in such a storm all by herself. She had to tell the whole story, every detail, and she did. Then she asked to be taken right back to her sick mother. But it was out of the question, they said. The road that ran around the mountain wouldn't be cleared till morning. "Don't fret, child," said the Duchess. "Your mother is surely sleeping now. We'll get you there first thing tomorrow." Irene was given a good dinner as she sat by the fire, the moisture steaming off her clothes. The Duchess, meanwhile, got into her freshly ironed gown before the guests began arriving in their sleighs. What a wonderful ball it was. The Duchess in her new gown was like... Yeah, she's dancing with somebody. The Duchess in her new gown was like a bright star in the sky. Irene in her ordinary dress was radiant. She was swept up into dances by handsome aristocrats who kept her feet off the floor to spare her ankle. Her mother would enjoy hearing all about it. Early the next morning, when snow had long since ceased falling, Mrs. Bobbin woke from a good night's sleep, feeling much improved. She hurried about and got a fire going in the cold stove. Then she went to look in on Irene. Oh, but Irene's bed was empty. She ran to the window and gazed at the white landscape. No one out there. Snow powder fell from the branch of a tree. "Where is my child?" Mrs. Bobbin cried. She whipped on her coat to go out and find her. When she pulled the door open, a wall of drift faced her, but peering over it, she could see a horse-drawn sleigh hastening up the path, and seated on the sleigh between two large footmen was Irene herself, asleep but smiling. Would you like to hear the rest? Well, there was a bearded doctor in the back of the sleigh, and the Duchess had sent Irene's mother a ginger cake with white icing, some oranges and a pineapple, and spice candy of many flavors, along with a note saying how much she cherished her gown and what a brave and loving person Irene was. Which, of course, Mrs. Bobbin knew better than the Duchess. All right, the 4 seconds. A new battle. The galaxy is in danger. The evil First Order wants to take over. Only the Resistance can stop it. The Resistance. The brave Resistance fights against the First Order. General Leia is the leader of the Resistance. She has many pilots and soldiers to help her. The Resistance has a secret base on a planet named Dakar. The First Order. The First Order is all that remains of the Empire. The evil Empire once ruled the galaxy. It was destroyed many years ago by Leia and her brother Luke. Now the First Order wants revenge. Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is the First Order's greatest warrior. He is very powerful and very evil. Kylo uses a weapon known as a lightsaber. He also uses the Force. This is a strange energy that gives him special powers. General Leia. General Leia is also a princess. Many years ago, she fought against the Empire with her brother Luke. He was a noble warrior known as a Jedi. Luke disappeared a long time ago, and now Leia is trying to find him. C-3PO and R2-D2. R2-D2 and C-3PO are old friends of Leia's. They are both droids. C-3PO serves Leia in the Resistance, but R2-D2 has been shut down for a long time. Ever since his master Luke Skywalker went away, R2 has not spoken to anyone. Poe Dameron. Poe is General Leia's best pilot. His ship is called an X-Wing. Poe flies his X-Wing with great skill. Leia sends Poe on a secret mission to help find her brother Luke. Poe is very brave and would do anything for Leia. Poe's mission. Mission Goal 1. Fly to desert planet named Jakku. Mission Goal 2. Meet with the explorer Lor San Tekka. Mission Goal 3. Get secret artifact from Lor and bring it back to Leia. Mission Planet Jakku. Possible dangers. First Order might attack at any time. Jakku has savage wildlife and dangerous deserts. Finn. Finn was once a stormtrooper. Stormtroopers are the First Order soldiers. His real name is FN2187, but his friends call him Finn. Finn sees how evil the First Order is, and he decides to run away. Rey. Rey comes from the planet Jakku. She works in a junkyard and never expects to join the resistance. Ray is an expert at fixing machines. She has built a speeder out of spare parts. Ray slowly realizes that she can use the Force. BB-8. BB-8 is a type of robot called an astromech droid. He helps Poe pilot his X-Wing. BB-8 is an unusual droid. His whole body rolls when he moves, but his head stays still. BB-8 is very loyal to Poe. The First Order. The Resistance is our enemy. With your help, we will destroy it and rule the galaxy. It is up to you, brave stormtroopers. Be fearless. Follow orders. Trust your leaders. We will crush the Resistance. Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma leads the First Order stormtroopers. She wears special silver armor and is very frightening. The only thing she cares about is destroying the First Order's enemies. General Hux. General Hux is in charge of the First Order's army and fleet of starships. Hux has built a huge weapon named the Starkiller. He wants to use it to defeat the Resistance. The Starkiller. The Starkiller is a giant weapon. It takes up a whole planet. It can smash an entire star system with a single blast. The Starkiller is guarded by thousands of stormtroopers. Advantages: able to destroy an entire solar system. Shields are very strong. Haas has powerful defenses. Disadvantages: cannot move, cannot be hidden. If damaged, may destroy itself. Takes time to charge up. The Resistance Base. The Resistance Base is hidden on a planet named Dakar. The base is where the Resistance keeps its starships. The Resistance Base also has a command center. It is buried deep underground. This is where General Leia and her officers plan their battles. Admiral Statura. Admiral Statura is General Leia's second in command at the Resistance Base. He helps Leia plan missions against the First Order. Admiral Statura is very smart. He knows a lot about weapons and vehicles. Han Solo and Chewbacca. Han was once a smuggler, but he helped Leia defeat the Empire. He and his co-pilot Chewbacca have been together for a very long time. Their ship is called the Millennium Falcon. Han cares for Leia, and he agrees to join the Resistance. Admiral Akbar. Admiral Akbar is one of Leia's officers. He is a Mon Calamari. He fought beside Leia in the war against the Empire 30 years ago. They have been through many dangerous battles together. Leia trusts Akbar with her life. Resistance pilots: Poe Dameron, Snap Wexley, Jess Pava, Mia Nunn. Yeah, you like those two the best? I like both. X-Wings. The Resistance flies X-Wing starfighters. X-Wings are fast and well armed. The X-Wing pilots must try to destroy the Starkiller. Laser cannon, astromech droid, engine, wing, cockpit, nose cone. Quiz: who is the First Order's greatest warrior?
Kylo Ren.
Who leads the Resistance?
Leia.
What is the First Order's giant weapon called?
Starkiller.
What type of droid is BB-8?
Astromech droid.
What kind of starfighters does the Resistance use?
X-Wing.
Okay, so that first one, it's not who's the Resistance's greatest warrior, it's who is the First Order's greatest warrior.
Yeah, I said Kylo Ren.
Oh, you did? Okay. Alright, good job. Alright, do this one next. Finn and Poe teaming up. Poe was a pilot. He fought against the evil First Order. One day, Leia gave Poe a special mission. Poe and his droid BB-8 needed to find a man named Lor San Tekka. The First Order wanted to find Lor San Tekka too, but one stormtrooper did not want to go on the mission. His name was FN-2187. Lor San Tekka lived on a planet called Jakku. Poe and BB-8 flew to Jakku. The First Order ships also flew to Jakku. Poe found Lor San Tekka first. Lor San Tekka gave Poe a map. The map would help Leia find her brother Luke. Luke was a great Jedi Knight. Leia thought that Luke could help stop the First Order. The First Order troopers landed on Jakku. The First Order troopers looked for Lor San Tekka. Poe told Lor to hide. Poe gave the map to BB-8. Poe did not want the First Order to find the map. FN-2187 did not want to hurt the people on Jakku. FN-2187 did not want to hurt anyone. The troopers captured Poe. They took Poe to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren wanted the map. Kylo Ren was angry when Poe did not have the map. The First Order troopers took Poe back to their ship. Poe was locked in a prison cell. Captain Phasma was mad at FN-2187. Kylo Ren made Poe tell him where the map was hidden. Poe told Kylo Ren that BB-8 had the map. FN-2187 did not want to be a part of the First Order, but he needed help. FN-2187 freed Poe. They would escape the First Order as a team. FN-2187 and Poe stole a TIE fighter, but the troopers put up a fight. FN-2187 and Poe flew into space. The First Order ship fired on their TIE fighter. Poe flew the TIE fighter. FN-2187 fired back at the big ship. FN-2187 and Poe escaped from the First Order ship. Poe was proud of his new friend. Poe called him Finn. Poe flew the TIE fighter toward Jakku. He needed to find BB-8. Finn and Poe made a great team. So this is similar, right? Finn and the First Order. This is Finn. He is a stormtrooper. Stormtroopers are soldiers for the evil First Order. One day, Finn and his team were sent on a mission. An old man had secret plans that could hurt the First Order. The man's name was Lor San Tekka. The stormtroopers needed to find him. Don't move the ottoman, please. The stormtroopers destroyed the village where Lor was hiding. Finn chose not to fire at the people in the village. Finn did not like being a stormtrooper. Finn wanted to help people. Lor gave the plans to a resistance pilot named Poe. Poe knew he had to keep the plans safe. He gave them to his droid, BB-8. Get as far away from here as you can, Poe told BB-8. A big shuttle landed on Jakku. Inside was Kylo Ren, a leader in the First Order. Don't push the ottoman, please. Kylo told Lor to give him the secret plans. Lor refused. Kylo and the First Order captured Poe. They took him back to their ship. Kylo made Poe tell him where the plans were. Now the First Order would hunt down BB-8. Finn felt awful for attacking the village. The leader of his troop yelled at him for not firing at the people. Finn pretended his blaster was broken. Finn knew he didn't want to be a stormtrooper anymore. It was too late to save the people in the village, but he could still save Poe. Finn went to Poe's cell and freed the Resistance pilot. "Can you fly a TIE fighter?" Finn asked Poe. "I can fly anything," Poe replied. Finn and Poe ran to the docking bay where all the ships were kept. They jumped into a TIE fighter and flew into space. Poe flew the TIE fighter away from the First Order's ship. Poe explained that he needed to find his droid, BB-8. They had to go back to Jakku. A blast from the First Order's ship hit Poe and Finn. Their ship started spinning out of control. They were going to crash on Jakku. Finn pressed the eject button and his seat flew out of the ship. Finn landed on a sandy dune. Nearby, the crashed TIE fighter began to sink into the sand. Finn tried to find Poe, but all he found was Poe's jacket. Poe was gone. Finn walked through the desert. He was looking for a safe place to stay. Finn found a trading post. He was shocked when he saw Poe's droid, BB-8. Thugs were trying to steal him. A young woman named Ray was trying to stop them. The thugs weren't the only ones trying to take BB-8. A team of stormtroopers arrived and fired at Ray and the droid. Finn knew he had to help them. Together, Finn, Ray, and BB-8 ran from the stormtroopers. It wasn't safe for them on Jakku. They needed to find a ship and fly away. Ray led them to a shipyard. They hopped on board an old ship. The ship was called the Millennium Falcon. Ray flew the ship away from Jakku. Finn fired at the enemy ships to keep them from following. Finn and Ray took BB-8 and the secret plans back to the Resistance. Finn was finally free from the First Order. Okay, last one. This one. Mr. Raleigh drives a big yellow backhoe. It has a scooper and a pusher. Mr. Raleigh loves to dig in the dirt. So does his dog, Lightning. Mr. Raleigh buckles his overalls and pulls on his boots. He has 5 big digging jobs to do today. He counts them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Job number 1, up ahead. 1 is a bridge on the ridge. Mr. Raleigh drives up the ridge of the mountain. Construction workers need Mr. Raleigh to move dirt and rocks. Dig up rock and dig up clay. Dig up dirt and dig all day. Good job, Mr. Raleigh. Good job, Lightning. Mr. Raleigh waves goodbye. Is all the digging done? No. Job number 2, up ahead. 2 is a drain for the rain. Mr. Raleigh drives to the new neighborhood in town. Construction workers need Mr. Raleigh to shape the hill. Dig up rock and dig up clay. Dig up dirt and dig all day. Good job, Mr. Raleigh. Good job, Lightning. Mr. Raleigh waves goodbye. Is all the digging done? Job number 3. 3 is a load on the road. Mr. Raleigh drives to the ocean. Construction workers need Mr. Raleigh to clear the landslide. Don't move the ottoman, please. Dig up rock and dig up clay. Dig up dirt and dig all day. Good job, Mr. Raleigh. Good job, Lightning. Mr. Raleigh waves goodbye. Is all the digging done? No. Job number 4, up ahead. 4 is a pool, a the school. Mr. Raleigh drives past the playground. Construction worker Raleigh to dig the hole. Dig up rock and dig up clay. Dig up dirt and dig all day. Good job, Mr. Raleigh. Good job, Lightning. Mr. Raleigh waves goodbye. Is all the digging done? No. Job number 5 up ahead. 5 is a zoo, all brand new. Mr. Raleigh drives past the animals. Construction workers need him to level the site. Dig up rock and dig up clay. Dig up dirt and dig all day. Good job, Mr. Raleigh. Good job, Lightning. Mr. Raleigh waves goodbye. Is all the digging done? It's funny, the monkey sees the bird. Yes, Mr. Raleigh counts his jobs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 was the bridge on the ridge. 2 was the drain for the rain. 3 was the load on the road. 4 was the pool at the school. 5 was the zoo, all brand new. All 5 jobs are finished. Whew, what a day. The construction sites are closed now. Mr. Raleigh drives his big backhoe home. But Mr. Raleigh doesn't unbuckle his overalls. He doesn't pull off his boots. He says, I dig up rock, I dig up clay, I dig up dirt for work and